Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we live in. It is once again the Aloha Hour. I am Mike Miller, your humble servant. Tonight, again, the clean-shaven young man, Edwin Blackett.
It is fantastic to be here once again. I love you all.
And the Castro cap-wearing Gary Shipman. Also clean shaven.
The scruffy, no, I'm not clean shaven, but I'm very glad that you have welcomed me on once again, Mike.
Always.
Thank you for having me.
You're kind of all in black there. You're not one of those Antifa guys, are you, Gary?
A what guy?
An Antifa? You're not getting ready to kick off the revolution, are you?
No.
All right. You know, if you go carrying around little red books and Chairman Mao, you're not going to make it with anyone anyhow.
Yeah, I think that's words of wisdom right there, my friend.
So about 20 minutes ago, Tippy Tail McKitty sent us $1.
What a great name! What a great name!
So that's how we begin. That's how we begin. Cecil Shipman's here, Whiskey Says. So, how's everyone doing tonight? There's 85 people in the chat. And boy, this camera is just not as high res as it looks on my screen here. It's like super high res. How's it looking here?
Well, let me turn down my light, because with that bright light in your face, I'm ready to interrogate you. So we can begin in just a moment.
Sorry.
Bagel Goose for $2. Was Edwin so busy his son came on?
Yeah, I had to. I've got to do a little bit of asbestos work this week, so I've got to wear a respirator. So the beard had to go. It's just how it is. My wife is.
Edwin used the hurricane to shave.
Yes, that's exactly how it went down. I went and stood at the base of the ocean. I stilled my eye and set my face against the wind. And I said, "Whiskers, be gone!" And it was.
Be thee far from me. Who's the female voice? Who's the female voice?
That is Mrs. Boyett in the background, laughing at my silliness, keeping me humble.
Todd Rector, or $2.99. Cecil? They think you're Cecil, Gary.
Why?
Oh, that's a good theory.
Because of this? Is this why? Is this why they think I'm Cecil?
You need a glass of vodka or something.
Why do they think I'm Cecil? Here we go again with this.
Here we go. It's the way it goes, Gary. Just get used to it. You're Cecil.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Camera seems to like heat up my computer. Let me switch cameras real quick and see if anybody.
Did you get a new camera?
I did, but it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Was low definition mic better?
Yes, he was. He was better.
Well, Gary Shipman with the bird.
Is that better or worse?
I think it looks better.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, you just may have to play around with the settings and tweak it. So man, I stopped into your stream earlier. Unfortunately, I was out and about on my phone, and I've got some hearing loss from when I was in the Army from all the shooting, and sometimes I can barely hear soft voices unless I have headphones in.
And my voice is that way, isn't it?
Sometimes it is a little soft, but
yeah, we were talking about that on my stream, that my voice just does not project. and I have to really like try to force it out. I don't know what I'm impervious to mic, not Mike Miller, but Mike's microphone.
But I just did so much shooting in the Army, and probably 95% of the time I didn't have hearing protection in, and so some of my hearing is kind of gone.
Well,
that was not wise.
Well, that's how it works sometimes.
All right. Well, did you guys see? I mean, let's see. Do we want to start this? It's 100 people.
Let me share something. Let me share something real quick.
Let's start off positives.
Well, this is not positive whatsoever. My wife was kind of was just like, figured she'd take a look at some of these comic books, these bad comic books that I got to read on stream, and she was like, "This is horrible. What is this? What is it?" And this is what did she say about this one? She said, could they make Wonder Woman look any more like a man? Was her comment. And then Iceman 11. She had absolutely nothing good to say about this. But that was funny. You know, my wife is not a comic book nerd. She only knows like the broad heroes like Captain America and so forth.
Hey, Edwin, can you do me a favor?
Uh-huh.
Can you pick up that copy of Injustice?
Uh-huh.
And read the names on it?
Yeah. It is Taylor, Miller, Derenick, Nanjun, and Locust. Was that your Wonder Woman? Injustice 2? Sorry, man. She said Wonder Woman looked like a dude. I'm sorry.
Sorry. She said the jaw is too square.
Yep, she said the jaw was too square. Sorry, buddy.
You know what it is? It's Linda Carter, man. I grew up with Linda
Oh,
Carter.
she says Linda Carter. So we haven't seen that. We haven't seen.
I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. My wife, unfettered, said Manjo. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I love
Oh man. Oh Manjo. Oh Manjo. Oh. That's funny. No, that's a beautiful thing. My wife just burned the heck out of Mike. Oh, that's good stuff. I'm sorry, brother. I'm stone cold sober. I wish I was drunk so I could be like, "Yep, Miller, I had too many to drink last night, but I'm gonna double down on it." No, I'm stone cold soldier. Oh.
Now I know how you really feel.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to send it to Omiyage.
Oh, my wife says we have to send you some omiyage now. My wife feels guilty now. I don't, not a bit.
Oh, right under the bus there, Edwin. Right under the bus.
Right under the bus. I know, it's great. Oh.
Playing around with all of Obama's staff. Jesus A. Sabellas Jr. for $2. Edwin has a Joker laugh. LOL.
Oh.
And again, for another $2, Miller 0, Mrs. Boyette 1.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah?
Somebody in the chat, Jesus A. Sabellas Jr. just paid $2 to say Miller 0, Mrs. Boyette 1.
Thank you for the super chat.
My wife says thank you for the super chat.
But no.
I'm sorry, Buck. I'm sorry.
I'm reading it.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Going to have a stroke.
oh, let me compose myself. Oh.
Poor Edwin.
Whew. All right. All right, brother.
Did you want to flip through the interior pages and criticize those too?
Yeah. Did you do the cover? Was the cover yours?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. All right. Yeah, we can if you want. Oh. You know, since that wound's already open, might as well stick something else in there. Huh? All right, your Wonder Woman on the cover is nice. That is sexy. Let's see. Hang on, let me turn on my Google Hangout so I can see what I'm looking at. Make sure I'm in focus.
You know, the one in
No,
the
that's
Wonder Woman.
nice.
Yeah, that's Nubia. That's not Wonder Woman. The same thing with the cover.
Oh, sorry, my eyes are blurry from coloring. Oh, well, maybe this is what threw my wife off, because she's looking at Nubia and reading her as Wonder Woman. Maybe that's the problem. Because again, my wife doesn't know comic books, but it's a woman who looks like she's in Wonder Woman's costume, you know? And so if she's looking for Linda Carter and she's getting Nubia, yeah. Oh.
Yana Hual for Mexican $20 or 20 pesos. Wonder Jawman. Of course, in Mexico, would that be Wonder Jawman?
Welcome to the stream, Gary Shipman. See, aren't you so glad? Aren't you so happy you joined us now?
I'm very glad. I didn't know that it was a giggle fest.
Oh, I didn't either, brother. I was not prepared.
Yeah. I'll let you stew in that for a minute too before I told you.
Oh,
to make sure you got everything out.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Dye my, I've been turning gray. Critias said dye my hair black. I've been turning gray since I was 26. About 10 years ago, I dyed my hair, looked at myself in the mirror, and just laughed at myself, kind of like I just laugh now, because it didn't look like me. I earned my grays. I may have earned some from Miller after the intro to the stream. Oh. Edwin, you can buy booze now. Seriously. Thank you. Whew. So what are we talking about tonight, Miller?
Shah Naman mentions that it did say Miller on the cover.
My wife absolutely did not make the connection.
No, I had no idea.
And I hadn't even looked at it yet. Yeah.
The month of us talking about how I am the artist of injustice also didn't clue you in.
Injustice 2. I didn't think you were on Injustice 2. I had no idea.
I just did the Supergirl bits. So it's all right. I don't blame you. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. Who are Hat Guy with Edwin voice? I'm not sure who Hat Guy is.
Hat Guy's Shipman.
Hat Guy would be weird.
Why'd you turn your camera off?
Because people are making fun of me.
What? No, nobody's making it. The only person who was getting ridiculed was Miller, and he's fine because Gary, nobody makes fun of you. You are a beautiful person, and there's absolutely no reason for anybody to. Well, now I'm going to make fun of you.
People were making fun of me, so I turned off my camera. They were calling me names.
They were calling you names.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Well, sooner or later, everybody takes some lumps, Gary, and it's okay. It's okay. Everybody here.
Tonight's Mike's name.
Well, I won't say everybody here because we might have young Mr. Paradox in the stream, but 99% of the people here want to see you succeed, want to cheer for you, want to have something good to enjoy, right?
Did you say Paradox might be here?
Yeah, I might be listening in. Might be rage listening. Mike Miller.
Dare I ask who that is?
He's a young man who is very ready to be upset about minutia. And it's not clear exactly what he's upset about, but he is not a Mike Miller fan. That part is very clear.
Is he friends with your wife?
No. No, not if he wants to live. No.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
he's just a Twitter troll, man. He's unimportant in pretty much every imaginable way.
Oh, well, Critias. What is Critias? What is Critias? Edwin, as Christians, we need to have thick skins. Jesus did say we would get prosecuted or persecuted for believing in him. So being laughed at by the community should be easy peasy. Yeah, well, excuse me. It should be, but everybody's got like points of sensitivity, right? And when people get up and put themselves in front of you and put their work in front of you,
And then your
sometimes
friends tear you down in front of all of your fans.
yeah, live and unscripted. Yeah, a knife for the front hole and for the back hole.
Oh. Although that is a nice way to say insult someone now. You're such a backhole.
Such a back hole, man. My chair is sounding a bit nassery. Yeah, let me set myself so I'm not fidgeting around. There we go. Because you don't want to sound accidentally nassery. All right, topical. What are we on? Actually, your chat wants me to talk to Gary for a moment.
Oh, okay.
What are you working on, Mr. Shipman? When I turned into your stream briefly, I saw it looked like you were doing an Adam West Batman. Is that right? Or
Yes, I was doing this Adam West Batman.
Sweet. Talk while you show, Gary. Talk while you show.
Talk while I show. I was drawing this, and I was using black ink to fill in the black areas, and I was leaving the white areas white.
So the white areas are just the paper. It's just the negative space.
Exactly.
That's cool.
That's exactly what I did.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I used a number 2 round brush from Master's Touch number 2 round. It has served me well this last 2 weeks. And India ink.
India ink. All right. What did you use for reference there? Did you pull up a YouTube of the old show, or what was your reference for the Adam West?
I just Google searched Adam West Batman and looked around, and I found a couple of things and kind of used a couple of references to merge it.
Right.
Is it a commission?
No, it was just a heartfelt piece that I did. I was feeling Adam Westy.
Oh.
So I thought I'd do it.
How's your sub count, man?
I think we're like at 6. Let me go check. 650. Let's take a look.
Here you go. You don't have to write it. Hey, I'm gonna put Mrs. Boyette on the microphone for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the headphones in.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Boyette.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I was peeking over Eddie's shoulder and taking a look at the drawing you just did. It was really good. I really like the use of negative space.
Oh,
He really likes his jaw.
I'm really, oh man, I am so sorry. I had no idea. None. See, that's what happens when I'm home alone with the dogs and I'm not wearing my glasses. Okay? Because I went, oh, what did he get? Oh, wow, is this one of the ones that he's going to trash? And I just kind of like thumbed through. And I was looking and I saw the Wonder Woman and I'm like, wow, Linda Carter was really hot. What's up with this? And so, yeah, and that's how that happened.
Never
But I
apologize for your opinion.
But I totally love Lone Star, by the way. And that's unscripted and unprompted. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to give the microphone back because I'm just going to ramble and be a goof.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Okay, here's Eddie. Okay. All right.
He has a very nice voice.
George all kerfuffled.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's all good. All right. Yeah, she was feeling kind of guilty, so she wanted to.
Never, ever, ever apologize for your opinion. That's it. That's fair game. I'm open to criticism, and I'll be 100% honest with you. It's not my favorite. I wasn't thrilled with the way that came out. But you know, it's that grind.
Yeah.
I don't blame the grind for me drawing it poorly. I blame the grind for me being like, oh, so I don't have time to redo it, you know. So it is what it is. That's why I'm enjoying it because if I don't like something, I can stop. I mean, I'm I'm working right now. I'm trying to get this thing done in a reasonable amount and get it in everybody's hands and get on to the next one. But, you know, I'm not like, I have to do 6 pages. If I can still take my time and do it to the best of my ability. And it's taking me a little longer than usual, but it's not that crazy, you know, gun against your head up against the scenario. So
yeah, well, you spent
will be
when you did that 2-page spread, that crazy 2-page spread. You spent like a week.
I know, so stupid.
Well, no, I mean it's amazing, dude. It's amazing. Had you ever spent that long on a 2-page spread before?
Last time I spent a week on one piece was like 2003. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
What page
Well, the
are
whole
you
thing
on
is,
right now, Mike?
What'd you say, Gary?
What page are you on right now? Can't hear me? What page are you on right now?
31.
31.
31 of 48.
Of 48.
Nice. Wow. You're killing it.
It's, you know, according to my schedule in my head when I started this whole campaign, I should have been done already. You know,
Oh, really?
it is what it is. I'm not going to rush it for, you know, because the fans don't want it rushed. They want it great.
Well, and you're going to get judged, right? You're going to get judged worse than my wife judged that Injustice comic. You're going to get scrutinized and picked apart.
I'm going to judge Mike when he does it.
I want to see it apparently center.
It's getting a little robotic on me. Hang on a second. I don't know if that's you or me.
Probably me. Bright. Adjusting. So that is the new page.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Don't rush. Last one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that bottom painting.
I'm
Looks
good
cool.
enough that even when I'm not rushing, I'll probably still be faster than a lot of the guys. So that's good.
And has anything else
Like
been colored yet, or?
I've got 16 pages of colors.
Nice.
But He has to do some corrections, so I'm not showing any of that stuff.
Right.
Just some minor corrections. He actually gave Lone Star like blue-black hair, and I'm like, dirty blonde.
Let's see. Art says he has big news. I'm gonna pull Art.
Come on, Art. Art, big news.
Do you do your own lettering, Mike? Who does your lettering?
The first draft was Dave Lamphere, but I'm probably going to be using Bill Tortellini for the second draft.
And do they turn that around really quickly, the lettering?
Hold on. Chester Busby, yes, it's still in demand. Yes, go ahead and link it. Yeah, they can turn it around fairly quickly, but you know, I want him to do a kick-ass job too. So.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, kick back hole. Did you send Art a link?
Yeah, I just sent him a link on the con.
Facebook. He wants it through Facebook.
Yeah, I sent it on Facebook. Gary, Chan is asking if you're going to do if you intend to do an Indiegogo yourself.
Yeah, I intend to do an Indiegogo, but I'm waiting to generate interest, like on my YouTube and social media, mostly on YouTube, by doing live streams and doing drawings, getting out there that way. And once we get up to, like, I would say at least 1,000 is what I've been told. I should have at least 1,000 subscribers. That then we would launch an Indiegogo campaign and we would rock it.
Okay, is it definitely going to be? Oh, by the way, Mr. Shipman, Nasser Rabani says, "Tell Gary I say hello. I was on his stream earlier."
Hello, Nasser. Hello. And I did see
pronouncing that last name wrong. It's Robati.
Robati. All right. So let me suggest something to you. While you are, is your Indiegogo project going to be Packins Land?
Yes.
Okay. Have you produced the script for what you're going to launch Packins Land with?
Only in part.
Okay. One thing I would suggest doing for you, right? One thing I would suggest doing for you, because you've got a softer voice and you're still building your audience, was as soon as possible, go ahead, and I know you've introduced people to Packins Land, but as soon as possible, potentially the first 2 or 3 pages in a nice summary of what this Packins Lands project is going to be, the story it's going to be, so we can start filtering that out to people, right? I think for you, I think you are a slow burner, Gary, and so it would be better to go ahead and start getting stuff out early and let it start percolating in people's minds and brains and letting them form an affection for it and for you. And so the earlier some of that could get out and people could start absorbing that, I think it would boost when you eventually do launch your Indiegogo.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right. Also because it isn't a typical, in the typical vein of a superhero comic, you know, so sort of different that way.
Yep.
So maybe it wouldn't have the same zing and pow as a superhero.
Yeah. So the earlier the better. And Christ Energetics, who did the Lone Star theme song, said he would also like to help with original music when time comes for a campaign video.
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, it is a wild Art T. Bear appears.
Yeah, I'm hooking up my...
Gotta give him a minute. Give him a minute.
Give me a minute.
That's a slow starter.
Sketch Therapy in chat says...
All right, guys. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the invite, Edwin.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's, well, thank Mr. Miller. We are all guests here.
Thanks, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Getting all belligerent. So how's it going, guys?
Chilling. Chilling
What
on the
page are you on, Mike?
Come again?
What page are you on?
31.
Wow, you're a machine. You're my new idol.
Aw, you're gonna make me cry.
Mike Sniffles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that a sore spot? If not, I'm not going to crack another joke.
actually, I think a sore spot might be Injustice #2 or Injustice 2 issue number 16. That might be a sore spot.
That might be a sore spot. Is that what you guys are talking about?
Mike, my wife savaged Mike. It was brutal.
She savaged it through Edwin's mouth. So
This is getting weird and personal.
yeah. Oh, a review of the comic book. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
always going to get weird. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, Edwin, thanks for lending your voice to the black and white little teaser that we put together. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was fantastic, man. That you recorded that right off the live stream.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that came out great then.
The quality was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was. It's fantastic.
All right, Mike, I'm going to sabotage your thing. Go check out my YouTube and listen to Edwin's great voice with a little black and white trailer there.
I'll check it out. Is that the news?
No, the news is something else.
Okay,
But
hold
I
on.
don't want to hijack your
I
show.
mean,
I want, you know.
Hold on. Before you news, everybody who hasn't already, go sub to Mr. G Shep and Art T-Bear, THIBERT. Let's make sure channels and growing. Art T-Bear.
Yeah, thank you. You cut out there for a minute.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Did no one? Okay, I'll say it again. Go Mr. G Ship, Gary Shipman, and Art T-Bear, THIBERT. Let's keep them growing.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I heard it that time.
I didn't hear mine. I'm just kidding. I heard it. So what? It's RT Bear.
Yeah.
Let me turn my camera off because I think that might be.
I've never met you. I'm sorry. My name is Gary Shipman. Good to
Hey,
meet
Gary.
you.
Nice to meet you.
So is your name Artie?
Well, that's what Mike calls me, and I think Edwin calls me Artie now too. It's Art, A-R-T, T-Bear. So it sounds like Artie Bear or Archie Bear sometimes.
Okay, cool. Well, good to meet you.
Well, good to meet you as well. Mike disappeared.
Hey, news, Art. What's the news?
What happened?
I turned my
Mike?
camera on. I was trying to get the stream to go faster.
Is it working?
I don't know. Is it? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good, Mike.
Say RT Bear again.
Okay. Artie Bear.
I didn't even have to super chat him when you did it. That's pretty cool.
Art, you come on stage and you say, "Waka waka waka! It's good to be
waka,
here."
waka, Mr. Fozzie T. Yeah, this is much like the Muppet Show, Mike.
All right, so you're burying the lead, or you came in here said you had some big old news.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys finish, and then I'll throw in my news. But go ahead.
No, that you became the lead when you said you had some big old news. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's the only reason I got invited in.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Well, I'm not that good at telling stories, except in the written form or the illustrated form. But in a nutshell, I made a major decision. I think I talked to Mike a little bit prior to this about just the amount of work that he's able to do with these YouTube chats and keeping the pencil and ink and writing work going. I had an 8 to 10 hour a day job 7 days a week, just trying to keep the DC schedules going on Super Sons. So I left DC today
Oh wow.
to be
Oh,
full-time
wow.
Comicsgate. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So is that good news?
Yeah, that is massive.
You're
news.
insane.
It's scary news for us at the T-Bear household. My wife's kind of a little nervous about it and stuff like that. But we've done things like this, leaps of faith before, and they usually pay off. So I'm really hoping that the Comicsgate community and everything support the book, and that we're able to, I mean, at the very least, make an income, because I know that we're not going to get rich or anything like that. But I just want to kind of make enough money that I can continue the dream, the black and white and the creator-owned dream, kind of like what Mike's doing, Mitch and Ethan and all the other guys.
You are getting a whole lot of congratulations on the chat. I don't know if you're reading it or not.
Oh, I don't. I only have the one iPad, so I'm not really seeing that. But thanks, guys. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Go over
Yeah,
and sub. Yeah.
Chat just went insane. Yeah, and everybody is congratulating you and cheering you on and wishing for your success.
Well, then this is the right move. I've been drinking kind of heavily this evening, so I was a little hesitant coming on.
Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is, you guys have all kind of been persecuted and kind of drawn to this point in your careers, and I don't know, for better or for worse, I haven't really been persecuted to that degree, and also I haven't been as verbal about my beliefs and what I want to do and what I feel is right in my heart, and so that may come down the line, but I feel like this feels like it's my contribution, or my I don't know the word for it, but basically that I'm kind of putting it on the line the way you guys did, but I'm putting it on the line by leaving my past, to embrace this new future.
You're taking a stand, brother. You're taking a stand.
Yeah.
On the line in the sand, you're saying, I'm not stepping beyond this.
Hey, so Art, you and Gary don't really know each other yet?
No, it's Gary. What books have you
Gary
worked on,
Shipman,
Gary?
he did something called Packins Land, which
Yeah, I
was
did a book called Packins Land. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I say something and then I don't think anybody hears me. So can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you
Well,
loud and
okay.
clear.
When there's a lot of people talking, mics will shut down one person and the other, so that so it doesn't become just a big old cacophony. So
Okay. Well, I have something scary. I have some scary news. Can I share it?
Yeah, share your scary news.
I have 666 subs.
Oh no!
Ooh, scary! I'm
Someone
frightened.
quick unsubscribe or
Subscribe? No, go take it the other way.
take it the other way.
Take it the other way. Okay, so Chester, can you link Gary Shipman's YouTube site, please? And if you haven't already subscribed to Gary Shipman, he does these beautiful drawings. If you've seen Packins Land before, Gary's style, man, dude, your style has grown so much. Can you show that Batman? Can you show that Batman you were working on? Let's show that to Art so he can take a look at that.
Yeah, this will be great.
I will try to. Someone said that it didn't show up clear, maybe in the chat.
No, it showed up fine. It showed up fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it sure did.
Hey, Gary, just know that sometimes in these live chats, the resolution from your camera aren't always as clear.
yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, well,
Wow.
there it is. I just did a tribute piece to Adam West tonight, just for fun, just for kicks, just for memory lane stuff.
Wow, that's very nice.
And so, Art, if you're in the Hangout and you click on Gary's face, it'll blow it all the way up.
Okay, I'll
It'll
do that
blow
now.
my face up.
Yeah, I can see it. I have pretty good vision with small stuff, but yeah, that's amazing. The brushwork is amazing, Gary.
Thank you. So, Art, are you an artist? Are you a writer?
I'm a 30-plus year comic book veteran. I've done everything from Adventures of Superman with Dan Jurgens to X-Men with Jim Lee, Uncanny with Will Spartaccio. I was one of there was the 7 founders of Image, but also Image brought, like inkers and colorists over with them. So I was an inker that came over when we founded Image. The secondary guys like myself don't get a lot of credit, but we put it on the line as well for to start that company. And so, and then I did a creator-owned book through Image, which was called Black and White. And then I did another creator-owned book called Chrono Mechanics through Image as well. And then later through Mike's company, Alias Comics, I did a black and white or a Chrono Mechanics run there as well. So, and currently I'm working on, or was working on Super Sons for DC Comics.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Let's see. I don't know if this super chat got read. It was $2 from Liam, Akashic Soldier. And it says, proud of you, Art.
Yay, Liam.
Did you hear him? Was he cut out? Did you guys?
Say again?
Did you hear Edwin? Because he cut out for me. Is it just
he read
me?
the super chat.
Yeah.
And you heard the whole thing?
It cut out a little bit on my end.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, we have another
right, so,
another $2 super chat from Mark C. Yeah.
You go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, someone's asking me to show one of the pages of Packham's Land. Can I do that?
Hold on. Here. Edwin, go ahead and say the super chat.
Yeah, so there's a $2 super chat from Mark C. It says, Edwin, check your Twitter DM later. Absolutely.
Jill.
I may need to restart myself because I'm losing half of what you're saying, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, I think you're the one that we can't hear.
It's insane. Nobody's using
Mike's fault.
I could reboot my computer, but I don't know if that's. Let me see if let me shut off a couple of my other programs here.
I hear you great now.
Well, here's a page from Packham's Land, the new stuff that I'm working on.
Are you going to do this through Indiegogo with Comicsgate?
Yeah, I'm going to do an Indiegogo campaign, but I'm waiting to get to like 1,000 subscribers at least on my YouTube channel. And then we'll launch it. And this is a Comicsgate kind of tribute piece I did.
Well, I don't see black and white in there. That's very nice, Gary.
Well, thank you.
That's killer.
I should add black and white to it.
Oh, please.
Can you and so Gary, don't run off after, and we'll swap information. That way, Artie can get you some reference material.
Yeah, and I'll link to your YouTube and subscribe, so at least you get one more subscriber from me.
Yeah, let's see if I went up from 666. Oh wow, went up to 679. Wow.
Hey, there you go.
Nice. Thank you.
How about you, Art? Where are you at on subs?
I was like at 840, I think, before I went on your show. So I don't have access to that. I'm upstairs at the drawing board, so I can't see my computer. But I'm sure it's going up crazily.
Well, I can't open Jack apparently because I had to shut all the other stuff off.
Well, whatever you did, it worked because I can hear you a lot better.
Yeah, I shut everything else off. I'm only running Google Hangouts now. What's wrong with this piece of crap computer?
Hey, by the way, Mike, your numbers are going up. I think you know how you always say like underdog Mike? My gosh, your campaign, I think you are the success story of all of this so far. I know that like the numbers aren't like 500,000 or whatever, but my gosh, you came from like you had under 200 like subs on YouTube. You started off with not one page drawn. Now you're on 30 whatever.
No.
Pages.
I started this with 20 pages done.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, dude, remember when I was pitching you Blacklist a year and a half, 2 years ago?
You were working on that then? Oh, I
No,
didn't
no,
know
no,
that.
no. I hadn't started this, but I started like whenever I would have downtime. Well, first of all, I wrote the whole story out. You know, showed it to a few people, and then I just started hammering out pages whenever I had spare time. I would just do a page or two, and yeah, I got up to about 20 pages, and then I got really busy. So yeah, when I started this whole thing, I was at 20 pages.
I still think that's amazing that what you have like 15 pages done since
11.
during your campaign.
Well, 11 pages and then covers and stuff like that. So yeah, probably around 15 total.
That's still incredible, and that's pencils and inks. That's not just pencils.
Yeah.
Well, you're my new inspiration, so take that for what it's worth.
So, Mike, let me ask you: do you how many hours a day do you have either pencil to paper or ink to paper in a day? How much time do you actually spend doing that?
It's a great question. I can't answer it because I mean, like today, just for, oh my gosh, this is all I've gotten done is like mostly penciling one page, which for me is infuriating. I mean, before we started this stream, I like shut the door. I was like super irritated because it's like 9 o'clock at night and I haven't even started inking the page I started on this morning. Because, you know, it's like, get up. I went for my prayer walk, came back. I don't even remember. Like, things just get in the way, and then your time disappears. I had to go pick up my daughter from school. And then just, I don't know. Everything gets away. I was exhausted. I took a nap. That was nice.
So you're getting 8 hours, you think, a day drawing?
I don't know. I think a solid page. I mean, I want to work longer on these just because I want to put so much stuff in here. Like here, you know, you follow Carlos Pacheco's stuff, right?
Yeah, I inked him.
Yeah. Well, you know how he's always doing like 3 layers of stuff. Like he'll do foreground and then midground.
That's beautiful.
Background.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's what I want to do. I mean, here I kind of suck because I can only do foreground and background because foreground and midground because the background is all black. But that's what I want. That's what inspires me. That's why I always have Avengers Forever. You know.
Hey Mike.
Cartoon.
Someday when we get together, if you ever come by the house,
Uh-huh.
I have Carlos Pacheco layouts. I have stacks of Carlos Pacheco layouts. He used to send them to me. I asked him. So I also have like covers, like pencils that were never used, that were never even inked. So I have a lot of Pacheco stuff. So if you're a Pacheco fan, I have some stuff for you.
I have 1 page. Actually, I might have 2 because I did ink him for a few pages on X-Men or Uncanny or something like that back like in 1995.
Cool.
But I have 1 page from Avengers Forever. And I was talking about this today, how, and this is part of the reason I don't sell my stuff, right? Let me see if I can find the page. Because it is just this gorgeous page. I own the original to this page here.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Wow.
I got it in San Diego from his art dealer for $60.
That's amazing. Well,
When-
I still have Pacheco work up on my site, so I think it's reasonably priced as well.
Well, the thing is, I mean, $60. Art dealer takes 20%. That means he's getting $48
Right.
for something he obviously took at least an entire day drawing.
Exactly.
And then Jesus Marino took another entire day drawing. So you've got these 2 fantastic artists combining, spending 2 entire days on this thing, and they're $48.
No, I hear you, brother. I mean, that's this industry, right? I mean, because what do? If you charge too much, you don't sell, and
I
it's
don't sell.
yeah, but they do.
All
Yeah.
right,
You're like
got a
Walter
$2.
Simonson, where you're just going to hold them until what, you die? I mean, what is
Maybe.
maybe?
Got a $2 super chat from Liam, Akashic Soldier. He says, "What is a prayer walk?"
A prayer walk is when you have 5 children and you can't think clearly in your own house to spend the time to pray. So you go for a walk and you spend your time walking and praying. And that's a prayer walk.
All right, now
I'm going to have to start doing those.
This is a viewer question, and it's probably relevant. Probably each of you could probably give a good answer to this. This is from Elric, and he says, "Edwin, I'm making a manga, and I drew my first chapter 4 years ago, and I've been under depression, and I'm almost done with the second, and my drawing has gotten better. Yeah, I want my first chapter to look as good as the second, but I also don't want to forget how far I've come." For me, I would say what you intend to do with this. If you're going to sell this, if you're going to try and sell this, if you're going to try and make this commercial, I think you should make it consistent. Right?
Yep.
I think you should make it consistent.
Yep.
As much as you can, but also the thing about comic books is it's monthly and you're doing multiple books and I mean, there's always another panel, there's always another page. So I think sometimes, like, this is how I forgive myself. I think it's a moment in time. So if there's a book that's not quite as good as you wanted it to be, it's the best that you could do at the time. So it's an ongoing learning process. And so, like, people like Mike and I and Gary, we're kind of evolving in front of people's eyes. We're learning and we're constantly changing and trying to get better in the public's eye. So it's nothing to be ashamed of as long as you're always trying to get better. And I think that the audience will follow you. So I would say just try to forgive yourself and just think to yourself, this is a moment in time. It's the best I could do at that moment. And then move on to the next, and then move on to the next. And then people will see your evolution.
Yeah, I think that that's true. Some good advice that I was given was by an artist back in the 80s, late 80s. Her name is Terry Sue Wood. I'm not sure if she's still doing comics right now or what, but she said to not go back and redraw your pages because you felt like you failed, like on a page or a panel. Because I was going back and I was, correcting things. And she said, don't do that. Just move forward and then learn from it and move forward.
Nah, redraw it, man.
Well, that's what I'm doing with Black and White. It's so weird. I'm like contrasting what I'm saying is like Black and White is remastered. So I am going back and basically doing a George Lucas number and going back and basically redrawing every page and adding new content. And the whole thing is going to be re-scripted and re-dialogued. So
are you going to add midi-chlorians to it?
I'm going to add a ton of midi-chlorians and a lot of stuff that are going to basically crap on the point of the original story. So any way I can distract or detract from the original and water it down is my ultimate goal. So thanks, Gary.
You're welcome.
Great plan.
There's a compliment here from Nasser Robani.
Hey,
and
Robot.
He says, "Please tell Gary and Art I'm so glad to have them here in Comicscape. They're both becoming two of my favorite pros." And then I got a comment on that, but we also have a super chat. And this is from Beer and Pretzels number 24 for $5. And he says, "So how hard is it then a good manga artist who works weekly? How hard is it then a good manga?" Beer and Pretzels, send me a note. I'm not sure what you're saying there, and I don't. You paid $5 for a super chat. So how hard is it then, a good manga artist who works weekly? Yeah, send me a note so I can expand on that.
Yeah, clarify for Edwin.
Nasser, while Nasser is, Nasser is undoubtedly a professional comic creator now with the success of his Kickstarter, or excuse me, his Indiegogo and Stardust. He's also a fan. He's a young man. He's 21 years old. And so over the last couple of weeks, he's been seeing all these comic professionals come out and just assail fans, just attack fans.
Hey, we're actually going to get to the topic of today's show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for derailing if I was the culprit.
It's all right. We hadn't gotten to the topic before you even got here. So.
Okay.
But the topic is SJWs ruin everything they touch. I actually sent Edwin a couple of, and this isn't just about comics. Edwin, do you have the articles I sent you? Because I had to shut everything else down, so I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, you sent them on Twitter, yeah?
Yeah. No, Facebook.
Facebook? Okay, let me get into Facebook. Let's see.
So I know one of them is the let's call him the Backhole, who
the Jacksonville shooter.
Yeah, the Jacksonville shooter. This guy was clearly an anti-Trump, because that was the great thing about this one guy. Like the Reddit community or the what's that other one? It wasn't Twitter and Facebook, so they couldn't run in and shut it down, and so we could see his writings. This guy was another freaking anti-Trumper, hated everybody that was Trump. Another one of these crazy SJWs, and what happens? He freaking goes bananas because he loses a video game, because these people are freaking unhinged. And they're unreasonable. And please don't take it to mean everybody on the left. We are talking about these guys who can't be reasoned with. They're the Terminator. They can't be reasoned with. They can't be bargained with. They don't feel pity or remorse, and they absolutely will not stop until our careers are dead. That's what they are like. And this guy was literally so unhinged.
Well, it says the Jacksonville shooter had strange online profile and bizarre playing style. Murdered 3 people.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I got on today and I canceled my Dragon Con appearance just because, I don't know, I think, A, I don't have my plane ticket and I don't want to buy one at the last minute, but B, dude, it's getting so hot out there, and especially with the way things are boiling up, like just this week, I don't know, I think there's going to be some insanity that I don't want to freaking see or deal with. But yeah, that's just one of the cases. What was the other one that I sent you, Edwin?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me take it off of. I got to go dive back into my Facebook.
So wait a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't hear Edwin when he read the. He cut out. So what happened in Florida?
Oh, you don't know this story?
This was a Madden. This was a Madden tournament. This was a video game tournament, and this fellow named Katz shot several people and murdered 3.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he shot like a dozen people.
Yeah, my wife actually wrote. My wife is reporting on this herself for her news program. Here's her write-up on it. On Sunday afternoon, during a video game tournament at the Jacksonville Landing, a gunman opened fire. The gunman is David Katz of Baltimore, Maryland, who was in town for the tournament. The tournament was being streamed live on Twitch, an online platform that live stream gamers play. Around 1:34 p.m. local time, someone called 911 reporting gunshots. The shooting began at a pizza parlor next to GLHF Game Bar, where the tournament competition was held. The shooter killed 2 people and wounded 9 others before turning the gun on himself. According to records in his home state of Maryland, the shooter had previously been hospitalized for mental illness. His parents divorced in 2007, and for the last 10 years had been bickering over how to care for their son. Katz had been prescribed antidepressant and antipsychotic medication. Now, here's my wife's comments. Meanwhile, the old guard media is already pushing articles calling for tougher security and more gun regulation. For the record, the Jacksonville landing, where the shooting occurred, is a gun-free zone.
Of course, but how do you guys know that this guy was an SJW?
Just because of the stuff he wrote on, like, freaking, what was it on? 4chan and
yeah, he had posted some weird stuff. It said he was a member of the anti-Trump resistance, referred to Trump supporters as Trump tarts.
See,
so what? He thought these guys were Trump supporters and shot
them?
them?
He was just insane. It just goes hand in hand.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if you know this, Art, because nobody does. But you know the Vegas shooter? He was freaking Antifa. And nobody knows it because they scrubbed everything. And I'm not speaking all conspiracy. I know the guy.
He was anti-what?
He was Antifa.
Antifa.
Oh, Antifa. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not conspiracy. I know a guy who went to the same high school as him. And so he's part of the alumni group. And everyone in the alumni group knew that he was Antifa, except for they scrubbed all of his social media as soon as it happened.
Why isn't Antifa considered a terrorist group? By every standard that we know of, wouldn't they just be classified as a terrorist group? This is crazy.
It is crazy. I totally agree with you.
Okay, and for people who maybe don't have the historical background, Antifa is essentially a disorganized communist militia, without a doubt. They're a completely a loosely organized Marxist organization. If you look at their symbols, the iconography, wherever you see Antifa, you'll see some, workers of the world unite, and you'll see communist flags and so forth.
You know what they are? Very much, but nobody would want to admit it. They are the modern day KKK.
Yeah, they hide their faces. They don't even, they wear masks or stuff like that.
But
this is why I was railing at Matthew Rosenberg from Marvel the other day, because January 21st, it was either 2007 or 2017, 2016. It would have been 2017. He posted Antifa, give them heck, on the inauguration day.
Wow.
And this is Matthew Rosenberg from Marvel Comics.
Jeez.
And this is why I say Marvel from top to bottom.
Comics?
Yes, Mr.
Wow.
Mr. Shipman. Marvel Comics from top to bottom, writers and editors are progressives at best, which is not particularly a good thing, to hard leftist. From top to bottom, all writers and editors of Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics is dead.
Perlmutter owns. Doesn't he own Marvel, or is he like the CEO? He like
Disney owns Marvel. Disney owns Marvel.
Ike Perlmutter controls Marvel, but he lets all these psychotic left-wing people control what comes out of Marvel. It doesn't compute.
Yeah, I don't think he's involved. I don't think he understands what's being. He controls it as far as maybe logistically and so forth, but yeah, obviously not content.
Yeah, I guess not.
Okay, so I pulled up Seth Rogen's AMC series.
Yeah, but let me finish my point about the KKK. Sure. Historically, the KKK was created to be the terrorist wing of the Democratic Party, and they used their modus operandi was racism against blacks to keep them in line or whatever. But today, Antifa is legitimately the terrorist wing of the Democratic Party. That's why I make that connection. And yes, Art, your point on, they hide their freaking identities just so they can commit terrorist actions in the United States.
What is this? Mike Hulk Smash says Jimmy Reyes is in chat.
Jimmy, what's up, man? Jimmy's the guy I know from Austin when I used to live in Austin.
Gary, has there been like I don't know what part of the country you live in or what part of California. And did y'all have any of those political riots in your area, or has it been pretty quiet where you live?
We haven't had anything happen of late, but some years ago things were starting to heat up, and it just seemed like crazy people were on the street, and it's like, what is going on? Why are people in such an uproar? It didn't make any sense, but it wasn't like it didn't really affect us, but it was sort of like, you know, maybe an hour away or something like that. People were.
Yeah, he lives about 45 minutes away from Chicago, so they get all their murders in every weekend.
Oh yeah, it was like I think a week or two ago, like 71 people were shot in one weekend or one night. I can't remember. One weekend.
Wow.
One weekend.
And they were turning people away from the hospitals.
What?
With gun wounds. Yeah.
Wow. There you go. That's what.
And that's Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who was shooting who? Like what went on?
It was probably the
Gang related.
Yeah, gang related, and it was like gang on gang type stuff.
Oh, okay. So this had nothing to do with like political or SJW or anything.
No, I don't know.
No, except for the fact that Chicago has the strictest gun laws in the country, so no law-abiding citizens are allowed to protect themselves from the gang members who might want to steal their crap.
So there's no opposition.
Right.
I think we need Lone Star in Chicago.
Hell yeah, baby.
Maybe a little black and white justice.
A little bit of black and white too, yeah.
And maybe a mouse warrior from Packinsland.
They can put him in their pocket and go kick some butt.
Hey. Edwin, next story.
Okay, let me blow this up large. Let's see.
And the reason it's like I said, this all ends up relating back to Comicsgate because it's a societal problem that we're seeing all over the place in every area. I even did a piece today on PewDiePie being one of us because of the whole Battlefield 5 thing. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they're pushing the same crap with Battlefield 5, where they had a female disabled lead because the guy the lead producer, his daughter was like, Daddy, how come I can play a female on this other video game, but I can't play a female in Battleground? And he's like, you're right, Violet.
There's Violet again.
Violet Beauregard, right?
From Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it totally made me think of. It's like, Daddy, why can't I play a female in Battleground? Well, because it's a World War II simulator, honey. No, he didn't do that. He said, you're right. Let's make the lead a female with a prosthetic arm in World War II, because that's what everyone who plays Battleground will want to play. And so the fans got all freaking irate about it. The sales dropped by 85%.
What? Wow.
5%.
Wow, that is nuts.
And the guy lost his job. Dutifully so, right? But he got online and he's like, well, if the fans don't like it, they don't have to buy it.
Well, that's always the thing, right? They attack the fan base.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, it's so counterintuitive. And when in history has it been that we placate the lowest common denominator in society? When did this happen? I like blinked my eye, and then all of a sudden, you know, like even in California, in some restaurants, they're nondescript restrooms. Like, it's not male, female. It's just like whoever wants to go in there. Like, when did this happen?
I'm going to answer this for you, and you're going to think I'm being flippant and making a joke, but it's Obama's fault. It is Obama's fault. Obama got elected, and the left thought they won the entire culture. And so they just started pushing everything as far and as fast as they could. And then when Trump got elected, their brains snapped because they never conceived in a million years that this push that they had with Obama was going to end in a short 8 years. And the cure to Obama that was Trump, it just broke them. They're absolutely broken. And I don't mean that in a metaphorical way. Their minds freaking snapped.
But in the meantime, we're still stuck with Obamacare, and we're still stuck with some bathrooms that are nondescript, right?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes you gotta cure things one thing at a time.
Yeah. Well, the way I think I talked about this on my YouTube this morning or today is that it's so weirdly, like, politically speaking, it's so far right and it's so far to the left, and neither side seems to want to give in. So there's no intellectual like interplay between the two extremes. And it used to be like you heard the other guy out, you weigh the opinions, and then you vote in like whoever's you like whatever opinion stands the test of the debate. You know what I mean? Whichever idea is the strongest, that's what you go with, whether it comes from the left or the right. But now the left and right are just, it seems like it's run by the extreme, where they're just set or hell bent on destroying the other one. Well, mainly the left trying to destroy the right. You know what I mean? Like just silence them, destroy them, shut them down. So
Yep.
it's just a conceit that everybody on the right is evil and horrible. When did this happen? Like, it's always been like, we have two parties. Hell, we should have three parties. We should have as many different points of view as possible, have some respect, and then have some kind of intellectual debates. And whichever idea is the strongest, that's what we should go with. I don't think it should be all of one thing, and I don't think it should be all the other. I think both sides have some pretty good, compelling arguments. But when it gets to the extremes, there's no compelling argument. You know what I mean? It's just seek and destroy or defend yourself in the case of the right. I feel the right now are just trying to defend themselves. You know what I mean? They're not even really having a say. They're just trying to defend or to try to hold on to what was.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was passionate.
Ooh, party there.
Well said.
Getting all riled up.
I have set you free, Art.
I think the the vodka did.
I wound up.
We need to go on a prayer walk.
I do need to go on a prayer walk.
I
All right, Edwin.
I found myself like last night taking a harsher position on some of this stuff than Ethan and Mitch Breitweiser. And I think John Malin agreed with me. We were talking about Bill Sienkiewicz.
Hey, what is going on? Someone had mentioned something about Bill Sienkiewicz to me yesterday, and they wrote me on Facebook and said that they had no idea that I was more on the side of Comicsgate. And I'm like, I'm for live and let live and draw and let draw.
Yeah.
And this guy said he leans more towards Bill Sienkiewicz. What happened with Bill Sienkiewicz?
Yeah, I can pull that up. I'm on Facebook now. Give me a moment and I'll pull up his screed. But
he basically wrote a manifesto against Comicsgate and the right in comics.
Yeah, I mean, he's been saying left-wing crap forever, so
Yeah, he has.
not like a big surprise, but
I mean, I love his artwork, but I don't love his politics.
yeah.
Well, he called us the C word, so apparently we're all the C word.
Communist?
The one you call a woman.
Culinary?
Culinary.
see you next
What do you
Tuesday.
call women, right?
See you next Tuesday. What does he say? Like my Aussie friends would say, you're all
Yeah,
the C
I'm
word
getting
or
it.
something like that.
And he lashed out at Ben Henderson too. And Ben Henderson is just a fantastic person.
He's a great guy.
Okay, here we go. Let me see.
Don't say the culinary word.
Yeah, I won't.
It's a family show.
You want me to share the screen so people
Hey,
can read along with me? Or?
Mike, you should have a swear jar for the Aloha hour.
You want me to share my screen or just read it?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Let's see. All right, for Mr. Shipman's edification. This is Bill Sienkiewicz. If you're not familiar with Bill, he's done a lot of work. He's a great artist, but if you remember from about a year ago, he took people, politicians, elected politicians, drew characters over their faces and superimposed them over gun range targets. All right, Bill Sienkiewicz, to comic skaters, but also to general friends and colleagues in arms, profuse profanity to follow. Be advised. To begin, I'm convinced comics chose me as a practitioner, emissary, evangelist, what have you, rather than the other way around. Perhaps that's why I tend to view most other creators through a similar lens. Whatever the actual reason people create comics, tell stories, live in this world, it's still a wonderful calling. Creators are family. Every voice is unique and necessary.
Except for Comicsgate.
Yeah, all right.
That said,
I disagree.
That said, comics sure as heck didn't choose the so-called Comicsgate contingent to promote hateful, misogynistic, and plain old ugly dogma. All right, hang on.
What is he talking about?
All right, hang on. All of you, let me open up chat before I go much further with this. When Comicsgate is full of beautiful, wonderful, creative people, all searching to find their voices. It is an affiliation of fans, consumers, supporters, creators, fantastic people, right?
Here.
We have people from all nations, all languages, all races, all ethnicities, all sexes, genders, and sexual orientations.
Except the Irish. We don't want the Irish.
Kiss the Blarney Stone.
Every person of goodwill that understands something is wrong with corporate comics, something is wrong with explicitly expressing contempt and disrespect for consumers. Every person who understands this is welcome in Comicsgate, right? In Comicsgate, as I say every night, and I'll repeat it at the end, be the best version of yourself that you can. Treat everyone with as much respect and kindness as you can so that the world is a better place because you're in it. Now let's go back to Bill Sienkiewicz. I love the people in Comicsgate, and this mess makes me nuts. But here we go.
Well, Edwin, what you said every day, and for, since I became an adult, I've always tried to be that. So it's not just with Comicsgate. I've always been kind of that guy.
Well, except that one time.
Yeah, there was that one time. We'll talk about that. Will be an episode unto itself.
All right.
Where Mike throws me under the bus.
All right, so buckle up. I'm going to work through all this in one pass with no commentary, and then we can break it down.
Okay.
That said, comics sure as heck didn't choose the so-called Comicsgate contingent to promote hateful, misogynistic, and plain old ugly dogma. No, these gators, you guys, you brought that ugliness all by yourselves. To be honest, I just don't get your deal. Are you so insecure, so afraid, so fearful of the prospect of bearing the incel moniker, or by sharing creative space with someone with more estrogen than you, that you're all somehow threatened to your very manhood or your livelihood. You know what? This little man, right, who's going to lecture and moralize. I respect you men for your artistic talent, right? I carried arms for my country, and I did it in order to protect my country, secure my country, so other people didn't have to do it. But I didn't do it to see good people lectured by moral midgets like Bill Sienkiewicz. That you're all somehow threatened to your very manhood or your livelihood. How super heroic of you. I'd ask you to explain it to me, but frankly, what I've heard from your quarter already bores me, as well as just plain pisses me off. I effing despise bullies, cowards. Well, stop being one, Bill. Stop being a frickin' bully and a coward. What you're each promoting individually is not some divine creative dispensation. It's just you being an a-hole. Collectively, you're a gaggle, a clan, potentially with a K, like a Ku Klux Klan. Bill Sienkiewicz says that you are the Ku Klux Klan. A veritable bag worth of douches. Whatever the name you give for your assembly, you're not the Avengers. You're still just a bunch of a-holes. Comics isn't a boys' club. It's not a no insert ethnic group, gender, religion, sexual preference here allowed. It's a club, a meeting place, a forum for creators of all stripes, like a real-life legion of superheroes or a Justice League, only with pen and ink paper and syntax and laptops. And stop being the creepy, racist, misogynist uncles showing up at reunions and peeing in the punch bowl to disprove your beta standing. Stop being the weird cousins the entire world points to as the definition of every comic book nerd stereotype, or do it far away from us. Stop being whining, misunderstood victims, bitching about favoritism, intolerance, and sexism. You're slinging inky black aspersions, obliviously crying racism in your whiteout. You're danged right some corrections need to be made, starting with the guys in the mirror first. So stop being awful ambassadors for the worst of our natures. Stop being brown shirts. I swear to God, Bill Sienkiewicz.
I thought he called us the C word too.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Stop being gosh dang ugly penises.
Sorry.
And to rejigger an ugly phrase you sling at women, and to rejigger an ugly phrase you sling at women. I'm going to channel it here in the spirit of my Aussie friends. Stop being such insufferable, clueless, see you next Tuesdays. The medium didn't call on you to be the best versions of a-holes you could be. Neither did we. Knock it off. Either step up or step off. We comics and the audience will be absolutely fine without you.
Ah, what an ass.
That's
What
a bit
is-
of, that was kind of blowhardy, don't you think?
Yeah.
What is he even talking about?
About you, Gary.
Yeah, you horrible. See you next
C word.
week.
Whatever. I don't. It's like I don't understand what he's even upset about.
I don't know why they keep.
He's upset because people have a name called Comicsgate. Give me a break.
Because you voted for Donald Trump or you support Donald Trump.
Well, who cares?
That's not even Comicsgate. It's got nothing to do with Trump.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's how they perceive it.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I say we
Well,
need.
what's the whiny? Who is he referring to about the whininess, and who's calling women any kind of names?
Oh, that'd be Richard Seymour. But
Who?
that was just diversity in comics. He's getting freaking lambasted for this, like a couple of things he said, which I sure as hell wouldn't have said them. Nobody here would have said them. but it was in a dark roast. It was supposed to be private, I believe, and somehow or another it got out. It was supposed to be just a distasteful sort of a roast thing, you know, like on Comedy Central.
But why isn't it considered distasteful for Bill Sienkiewicz to post that manifesto?
Oh, because they don't hold themselves up to any kind of a standard. It's silly.
Well, also they're on the right side of history, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they're justified.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But I've seen all kinds of pros retweeting this. I've seen like Gail Simone retweeting this stuff and Jeff Lemire's stuff. Gotta virtue signal fast, right?
Yeah. It's upsetting because my friend Adam Glass is like taking that side, and I've been trying to talk him down from it, but he's, you know, when even your reasonable liberal friends are falling for this crap, it's because of the I don't know, the hive mind mentality, I guess.
Well, the thing I find the most amazing aspect of all of this is that we kind of just want to do our thing. We want to entertain our audience and make good comics. That's really the crux of what we want to do. And we're not overtly attacking them. Like, we're not posting up, you know, these kind of manifestos that are saying X, Y, and Z about specific creators or anything like that. At least as far as I know of, you know, collectively, we're not doing those things. So all the pushing is all done from the one side. It's not done from our side. It's done from the other. And then they act like we're being the, what is it?
Bullies.
What's,
They call us.
Yeah.
They say we're harassing them, and it's like, you know what the definition of harassment is, right? They see any kind of a criticism, no matter how warranted, as harassment. So you can say something one time, and they call you a serial harasser. And it's like, the word has a meaning. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yeah. Way to go, Indigo. Yeah, I just don't understand. It's like I had a neighbor, okay, and so this guy, he just moved in to the neighborhood, and my wife and I have been here for 25 years. Okay, so we've seen people, you know, the next door neighbor, we've seen them come and go. People have come, you know, they live for a couple years, they leave, they sell the house, whatever. So the property line has always been the property line since we moved in and since this neighborhood was built. So he moves in and he decides arbitrarily that the property line is not the property line. So this is the age old, you know, like you've heard these stories before. I never thought this would actually happen to me. So long story short, the burden of proof is on me. The burden of proof is not on him. So he can take the land, and then I have to get a lawyer to prove, the border is this and that and the other thing. Even though I had satellite footage, I had the builders and all that stuff, but without a lawyer, without getting a retainer, and getting a lawyer, I couldn't really fight this thing, and it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. So then I tried to work it out just like as a human thing. Hey, pal. Can we work it out? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I had hardscape and all kinds of stuff built that was going to have to be uprooted and tore out. And so he just says, he comes over and we're trying to work it out. And then his wife says to me in confidence, like she's going to be the peacekeeper. She just says, my husband and I, we don't want any trouble. And then I said, then why are you doing this? Because there was no trouble before. I had several neighbors that have lived there before. We've been here for 25 years. Why are you doing this? You're the one that's causing the trouble. You're the one that's pushing your will on me. I'm not doing it. You are. And then they just stormed off, and that's it. And they took my land. And unless I have the money to fight it, that's it. So there's 5 foot by whatever foot land that's now not mine. And I always use this as the equations, like with the SJWs. Like, they're the ones that are pushing at us. we're not really doing it. We just kind of want to keep our land. You know, we just kind of want to be left alone.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that are escalating it. And then they act like they're the ones that are the victims.
Yep.
Like the woman said next door. She said, "Hey man, we don't want any trouble." But you're the one causing the trouble.
Yep.
You don't even see it. I'm not causing the trouble. I guess if I just caved in and gave them what they wanted, you know, then there would be no trouble. As long as I didn't fight, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Douglas Loudon for California. Canadian, $10. Like
Yay.
you guys, but Battlefield 5 gives you a choice if you want to be a female character. People don't complain when the V1 rocket is used in 1940 when it did not exist. The Battlefield games have never been correct. I think the issue, Douglas, wasn't even so much that that's the character. It's that the producer got online and said, you don't like it, don't buy the game, which is not how to treat your customers. That is not good business. If they had come out and said, well, it's just an option, nobody has to play it. But no, he came out and told his customers they were a bunch of hateful bigots. So.
Like Zack Snyder with the Superman movie, and with what is that Ghostbusters guy that made the new Ghostbusters? Started attacking the Ghostbusters crowd, saying they were a bunch of male sexists and that they weren't. They couldn't bide to the fact that they were women leads versus male leads, not taking into consideration that it really wasn't funny or that interesting.
Yeah, I didn't bother seeing it. You want to hit the next story?
Yeah, let me get back into Facebook. Let's see.
It is just an overwhelming entire culture of just SJW suckage.
Okay, so I've got the one, the Seth Rogen one.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Yeah.
I like. Oh no, Seth Rogen. He's the actor director, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the Green Hornet.
All right, this is Seth Rogen's AMC series, Preacher. And let's see, I'm sharing my screen. Let's see, Seth Rogen's AMC series, Preacher, features Nazi-wearing MAGA hat in season finale. Of course it does.
Of course it is. Of course.
In the season finale of Seth Rogen's AMC series, Preacher, a character dressed in a Nazi uniform was wearing one of President Trump's Make America Great Again hats. In one scene from Sunday night's finale, a tank with Nazi symbols on it and characters dressed in Nazi uniforms appeared behind the vehicle while one character had a red MAGA hat on. Following the episode, social media users took to Twitter to express their distaste for the scene. Why did you have to go and put a MAGA hat on the neo-Nazi? You couldn't keep your effing politics out of the show. Now I have to say goodbye to Preacher. You suck, one person tweeted. Tweeted another. Finale features Nazi wearing MAGA hat. Well, I guess I won't be catching up on this season's at Preacher AMC or the next one. Way to insert politics to the story. Just hate you had to put your political BS on Preacher. I know you don't care, but you lost 2 fans of Preacher tonight. MAGA hat on a Nazi in the latest Preacher. Really? The left hasn't any class. As the grandson of a man who fought the Nazis in World War II and a French woman who lived under Nazi occupation, whose ancestral castle hid the real resistance fighters, this is abhorrent. Preacher, which first aired on AMC in 2016, tells the story of a preacher who enlists the help of an ex and a vampire in order to find God.
I tried to watch the first episode of that and couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's based on a Vertigo book. But yeah, I mean, I sent it over to Edwin because it's just another they can't help themselves.
Well, if people are really responding like those last comments where people are saying that they're going to quit watching that show, it seems like that there's an awakening happening, maybe, or if that whatever Edwin was reading, if that's a site that's basically looking at those kinds of things from one side, like from a more of a right side, a right wing side. If it's a left wing thing and they're just saying, "Oh yeah, people are mad about it," and you're getting both sides of it, it's like where was that article at, Edwin?
Let's see. This article, Seth Rogen's AMC. This was on the this particular one. Mike linked to me was on Fox News under their entertainment section.
Okay. Well, if they're getting, if that's the kind of feedback that they're getting, people are saying, "I'm not going to watch that show anymore," they're going to start feeling it eventually. And comics are going to start feeling it eventually.
Oh, Gary, that's the whole point. They've been feeling it for years, but they don't care.
Well, they will when they feel it enough.
They don't, though. They're losing money left and right. Go broke, and they don't care. They just want to push their marriage. And they have this legitimately. It's so anti-business, but these aren't business people, right? These are people who feel their decisions rather than considering the bottom line of running a business. They don't want us as customers. Yeah. They don't just dismiss us. They insult us. They smear us. They attack us incessantly. They don't want us as customers. And I think, fine.
Have you, right, yeah. Have you heard about Left the Left, that movement?
Oh, it's walk away. Yeah, hashtag walk away.
Yeah. I've seen some video footage of people who have actually give their, like their, testimony or something about what they were diehard, left, Obama or Hillary or whatever the whole deal was. And then they completely have they've left it. They said that whole thing was just a big lie to them. They've realized the truth now. So maybe people are waking up.
Yep, I hope enough of them wake up that we, I don't know, can we fix the entire culture?
But I think Art said something earlier that he said that, on both sides, it's not that the left doesn't have any good ideas and everybody on the left is evil. It's not that. It's that they do have, there is good things there, but their approach is so do it our way or die.
It's absolute.
Yeah, absolute. There you go.
And they don't have any good ideas. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, I think good ideas can come from all kinds of different places.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that the good ideas, the real good ideas, they're not political. Everybody agrees on them.
Right, yeah.
I mean the left wing, well, whatever. The thing is, and I say it all the time, and people will probably get sick of me hearing it, but they dismiss our ideas because they, at the bottom of their heart, they think that we're evil, stupid, or what's the third one? Are you evil, you stupid, or crazy? So you're either, if you think everything coming out of your opponent's mouth comes from a place of being malicious, ignorant, or insane, then it excuses you from having to consider that as a solution. And so that's why they absolutely refuse to bend or listen to anything the right ever has to say.
Well, I think what the left have figured out is they figured out arguments that can shut people down. At least it has worked up to this point. So it's like arguing with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, and they say, this is how I feel. So as long as you if you keep pushing the argument, even if it's logic based and even if it totally makes sense, the more you argue with somebody once they say, this is how I feel, you always look like an ass. You always look like the bad guy. And I think that the left have figured out how to shut arguments down before they even begin with certain labels. Like they'll just label you as this, they'll label you as that, and then the more you argue against it, the more you look like you are that thing. And the reason why Donald Trump is actually pivotal in this whole thing is because he wasn't like presidential candidates of the past that when they were called racist and stuff like that, they didn't know how to argue. This guy went in guns a-blazing, and he didn't take anything, and he argued directly back at them, and actually took shots at them and put them on the defensive at the same time they were zapping him. And that was the fundamental difference. And if we're going to go to extremes, and we have to go to this kind of extremes, then that's the kind of president you're going to get. You're going to get Donald Trump, and he's going to go out guns a-blazing just so he can be taken seriously, just so you can hear his platform, because otherwise they'll shut it down with labeling him a racist or a homophobe or a Nazi or whatever. And they still try to do that. And I said for years, like, the right have to start learning how to argue better. They just have to stop being so nice and let somebody call them a racist or let them call them whatever, and let them get away with it. Because the more you let them get away with these labels, the harder it's going to be to get out of it. You know what I mean? Because the longer it exists in the culture, then the more it gets ingrained in the population that you are those things.
Yeah, it's like what they're trying to do with Comicsgate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're labeling it, and they're just calling the names like they usually do. And then, like, we're the C word, we're this whatever, without understanding. I know Bill. I've hung out with him. Like how am I so fundamentally different than yourself that you can then call me these names? I would never call Bill any of those names. I don't care how angry I was. I wouldn't do that. But they feel totally okay with it.
Yeah, entitled.
Yeah. And the only thing I can always keep thinking about is, because this has been thrown at me the last couple weeks, is that, don't you want to be on the right side of history, Art? Don't you want to be on the right side of history? And I'm just like, I don't even know what the hell that means. Like, don't you have to let history play out before you know what the right side is? Like, how do they know what the right side of history is while it's being created? Like, does anybody? Isn't that arrogant unto itself?
Don't you want to be on the right side of history, comrade?
Yeah. Well, we'll see, right? We'll see who's on the right side and who's on the wrong side. But time has to tell, right?
Comrade.
Let me get this Bill Sienkiewicz out of my brain. Ma'am?
Go for it.
Good luck.
Right.
Good luck. Who said that?
Me.
Did you say that, Mike?
Yeah.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso look into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. And if any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, the man's religion is vain. Pure religion, and undefiled before God and the Father, is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. It's from the book of James. It's James 1.
Nice.
Stuff. I gotta get me that book.
It's a bestseller.
Is it?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Fantastic. Well, anything else tonight, gentlemen?
I think just go to my YouTube and sub, so I don't feel like I made a mistake today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, we're gonna lift you up, man. We're gonna lift you up.
Yeah, so everybody that's listening, people who may have come in late today, Art T-Bear officially left DC Comics so he could focus full-time on his black and white remastered. So we got to be following Art and look to support him and help promote him and help back him up and be courageous for him since he was courageous for us.
Yes, and in return, I will do my best to give you a killer 48 pages of entertainment that you can enjoy.
And then Mr. Shipman is going to launch something sooner than later. And so, Art, we probably need your help to help Gary too. Gary is a fantastic artist. He's a very gentle man. I think we're going to have to help be voices for him though, and help him with his pitch and help him with so forth. So
I will.
We can absolutely do that.
Well,
Is
thank
he
you.
going to be linked in the chat for his YouTube?
Yeah, it's right there. Oh no, that's your channel. Jiminy, put Gary's up there too, would you?
Because I'll sub to you, Gary,
Right.
tonight.
Thanks, Chester.
Thank you. I will sub to you too.
Thank you.
I'll sub to everybody.
I'm already
It was
subbed to you,
actually,
Michael.
It was quite nice to hear your thoughts, Art, and I'm glad that I got to meet you through this stream.
Oh, thank you. The same. Right back at you. I'm gonna check out. Do you have an Indiegogo or where's? I mean, not Indiegogo, but Instagram. What's the best place to see your work?
Probably Facebook at this point.
So, what's your
Facebook.
handle on Facebook? What would I type in? Search.
Gary L. Shipman.
Okay.
And if it's a guy playing a guitar, it's not me. That's my dad.
Okay. So don't like his page.
No, don't like my dad's page.
He's direct competition.
I know. He's like stealing my thunder.
Is this it for tonight? I mean, how long have we been on?
We're coming up over 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, that's a long Aloha hour, guys. Sorry, we can't stay on here all night long.
Aloha 2 hours.
And
Michael get a page done if we keep going.
Ethan is live.
I like that.
Ethan is live, so we're keeping people from enjoying Uncle E.
All right.
Oh, Ethan's up right now?
Yeah. He stays up really stinking late. He's crazy. So everybody, if you're new here, if you came on, please do subscribe. Smash that like button, smash the notifications, and go down and sign up for my mailing list too. And check out LONESTARcomic.com for my own Indiegogo, which is still running. Oh, forgot. Oh, everyone's leaving. I think I'm going to do make a third cover available for this run. I ran a little poll on Twitter, and it seems like about 42% or more, I haven't checked it in the last 2 hours, want me to use the Comicsgate Alliance piece as an alternate cover.
Oh, very cool. You got to throw black and white in there.
Already drawn, man. So I think I'm going to do that. I may make that available as an upgrade tier or just a standalone tier or whatever. And when I do, I'll make sure I announce it here. So
That's a killer piece. That'll make a great cover, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if there's going to be room for a logo treatment, but I could just make it a virgin cover and just do the art.
You know what? That might be a nice, like exclusive where it doesn't have, or just a small logo in one of the like lower corners or wherever you can fit it, so it doesn't look like a traditional comic book cover. That'd
Right.
be very
That sounds
collectible.
cool. That sounds really cool.
Right on. Edwin, you want to do your benediction?
Yeah. All right. So, and more than ever, wherever you are, whoever you are, you matter. You have value. You have value, your substance. You matter to me. You matter to us. You matter to your creator above. You are made in the image of your creator. So wherever you are, whoever you are, be the best version of yourself that you can be. Treat people with as much kindness and respect as you're able, so that wherever your feet are, your corner of the world is a better place because you're there. Until we meet again, we bid you good night and aloha.
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 Aloha.